I the jerk for blowing off a getting-to-know dinner with my coworkers after I learned they are going on vacation after a work retreat with 2 of these coworkers and sharing a room with one of them for one night? Backstory: my boyfriend and I have been together for 4 years. He moved to the United Kingdom for work. I am 2 flight hours away. He has a work kickoff in the United States lined up. For the kickoff, the company is paying for the rooms, so he has his own. After the kickoff, he and 2 of his female coworkers wanted to go from Las Vegas to Los Angeles because they have never been. For the extra night in Las Vegas that they have to pay for themselves, the female coworker apparently asked my partner if he would be okay sharing a double room with 2 beds for that night so she can save money. Her boyfriend seemed to be okay with that. The day after, they go on the road trip and stay in Los Angeles for 2 days in an Airbnb. They all have separate rooms there. I just got to know of everything once it was already booked, and he did not ask me if I was okay with it. According to him, all this happened when we were in an argument, so he did not want to bring it up. He also said he knew I would cause a scene, so he wanted me to get to know them first, which is supposed to be happening tonight. I feel deeply hurt by being left out of that decision. He knew this would hurt me, but he says it is only because I am overly jealous. This makes me in return feel very immature. I did occasionally get a bit defensive as of late because I feel very left out despite having supported him in his choice to move away for work. He did not have to move away for work. He applied because he wanted to work for a big company and get the living abroad experience. I also did not get overly jealous or make a scene when he went on a boys' trip for his birthday to Portugal, had to go on a work trip with a female coworker for a week. They spent all day with each other, went backpacking in Central America and did not get back to me for a whole week sometimes within that 1.5 months. Now it makes it seem as if I am a hindrance to his self-development when I feel like I am just asking him to consider me because that is my understanding of a relationship. When I told him in the middle of the argument that I will just be doing whatever I want from now on too, he just said that would be great for me. Am I the asshole for skipping this dinner and not even getting to know these people? I already feel like I have been so left out, and I'm not in the mood to meet anyone at all. At the same time, it could probably come across as if I am a rude, irrational person, and that I let anger get the best of me. Dinner would be in 8 hours, and I do not know what to do. Go to the dinner and meet the women and their boyfriends, stay nice, and then come back and break up with him. This doesn't sound like a fun relationship, and his lack of respect isn't helping. Work trips with people of the opposite gender are common, but staying together in a room is not, and him not checking in with you is a red flag. Maybe this isn't your person, and you're forcing yourself into something that's making you miserable. Am I the jerk for feeling uncomfortable about a situation? So, my boyfriend and I are in a polyamorous relationship, and he got a partner back in March. They moved in with us a few weeks after. They promised us that they would do half the chores and any household work. My boyfriend works full-time, and I run a small craft business. They had no job. I noticed they placed things in mine and my boyfriend's cart while shopping, and certain things in their own cart that they bought. They expected us to buy the rest of their stuff, which my boyfriend did. I accepted them as my business manager and told them I still wanted my business going a certain way. Later they started telling me that my way is wrong and should be done differently. They even attempted to take money from my business and tried to steal my customers. My boyfriend's ex-partner stopped doing the dishes, and I constantly played catch-up while getting ready for craft sales. My boyfriend's ex-partner started snipping at me any chance they could while I was talking to them, just about anything and everything. It got to the point I would rather stay in my room, and I stood up for myself and snipped back. My boyfriend's ex-partner kept whispering to my boyfriend about going to a different room, but never told me, so I felt left out. My boyfriend's ex-partner started saying lies to my face by saying my boyfriend said certain things when he never did. I asked him. My boyfriend's ex-partner wanted to watch a show, but they knew it would bring up their trauma. They begged me for an extra night with him when I was looking forward to my night, so I said no. They said, "Don't blame me for not sleeping well tonight," which upset me. When my boyfriend's ex-partner gets money in their hands, they impulsively buy things they don't need, then regret it later. They then got mad at me for firing them from my business and said they wanted to control the finances of the business so it doesn't go down. One day, my boyfriend's ex-partner asked me to talk about my feelings. I said if I don't talk, I don't get yelled at, and walked away from them in the uncomfortable situation. They followed me to my bedroom, trapping me in my room and activating my fear of not being able to escape. They forced me to talk about my feelings, and when they got the answer, they told me it's all wrong. It took me several times telling them to leave before they did, and I yelled about being trapped. My boyfriend checked up on me asking what happened. I told him I don't feel safe in the house while having a panic attack and crying hard. He took me to the park, and I told him everything like a broken dam. My boyfriend's ex-partner packed their stuff the next day and told my boyfriend that everything I told him. They said the exact thing. Now I am confused and feel like I'm the bad person. You are not the one to blame. Poly relationships require a lot of communication and effort from everyone involved to make sure everyone feels included and valued. If a partner isn't contributing and is causing stress or discomfort, it's totally valid to question the compatibility of the relationship. This situation sounds like a classic case of a bad partner who wasn't contributing or respecting boundaries. Ending a toxic relationship is never being the asshole, it's self-care. Am I the jerk for making plans during the time my friend took off work to see me? I have two close school friends in Australia, far away from where I live, Lucy and Tim. Tim is my ex-boyfriend, although we've remained close friends. Lucy and Tim have not spoken for 3 years. My long-awaited trip to Australia is booked, and I am going to stay with Lucy. Before my trip, Lucy coincidentally made plans to visit my home country for a month, but I have commitments that will keep me from seeing her. Before her return home, she suggested I stay with her family in Asia as it was convenient for both of us to meet up before heading to Australia. Tim moved to a different city. I plan to meet up with Tim, and he has requested a 2-week leave from work to see me. My trip is for 3 weeks. I told Tim that I can visit him in his city for 1 week, but I would like to spend the remainder of my stay in their hometown, where the rest of my friends and family live. After telling him of my travel plans with Lucy, Tim suggested going on a secluded holiday to an island resort in another state or to Hawaii. I was not a big fan of the idea of traveling to a different country. I made it clear I wanted to stay in their hometown, but I understand that his 2-week leave is his only time off work this year, and he would want to get away for a few days. The type of holidays he had in mind are totally out of my budget. He offered to pay for my share, which I declined as I don't feel comfortable with him gifting me an expensive holiday at a 4-star resort. I tried to suggest more affordable types of accommodation near the beach, but he was not willing to compromise his plans. We didn't end up further planning this holiday. Meanwhile, Lucy and I made plans to go to a festival, which happens to take place on the last weekend of Tim's leave. Tim became very upset with me as this means he cannot spend the entirety of his time off with me, essentially wasting his leave. He is also angry that I'm willing to spend $400 on a camping festival, but not on his extravagant getaway. He now calls me a terrible friend, says I don't make an effort to see him, and is now suggesting ending his life over past unresolved conflict because I won't admit that I'm in the wrong. He is now threatening to withdraw his leave application and end our friendship if I don't cancel the festival. I never said I would spend the full 2 weeks with him alone, and I don't understand why he is questioning our entire friendship now because of it. I feel conflicted because I do want to spend time with him, but I also want to have enough time to meet other people and go to the festival. Am I wrong to have made plans with other people during his time off work, which he intended to fully spend with me? It sounds like Tim came up with expectations for his time off without actually communicating them to you, and now he's acting quite entitled to your time. When you actually started discussing your plans, he wasn't willing to compromise. It was either his way or nothing. So basically he's forcing you to choose him and only him when he's available, or everyone else. It's your call, but I certainly wouldn't choose the person who's trying to guilt trip you into spending time with them. You are not the bad guy in this situation. Am I the jerk for ignoring my parents' birthday? Title is awful, I know. However, I think I have a decent basis where my ignoring her birthday is valid. Her birthday hasn't happened yet. It's on July 5th. I, a 17-year-old female-to-male transgender person, have already decided that I will not be wishing or attending my mother's birthday. She is turning 36. I don't live with my mother. Last year in May, I was hospitalized for a psychiatric emergency. I was in a really bad spot, and my mother was the one to drive me to the hospital to be evaluated. She and I hadn't had anything close to a good relationship. In fact, a lot of the things she had done and the ways she treated me are why I was hospitalized. When she was driving me to the hospital, she told me, "You are not welcome back in my house. I need to protect my children and I won't let you put them in danger. I have 2 younger siblings." At the time, she was having me babysit my younger sister every day from 5 a.m. to 4 p.m., full-time, since I was in a homeschooling program. I had attempted to explain to her about a week or so prior that I was in a messed up state, but she did nothing about it until a professional said it was necessary. After a week in the hospital and 2 months in a residential program, I moved in with my grandparents. She was livid about this because apparently she didn't mean you were not welcome as a permanent solution. However, there was no way I could continue treatment if I moved back in with her, so I didn't. She and I hardly talk anymore, and every time I've seen her, it's been dramatic and needlessly complicated. For my 17th birthday, she sent a text asking what I wanted her to get or do for me. When I told her I didn't have any big plans, she made it very clear she wanted me to hang out with her. So I tried to arrange with her what we could do together, and she essentially bailed at the last moment because it was too cold to go to a coffee shop. So I went over, we played card games, and she talked negatively about me the entire night. Months later, I learned that I was ahead in my education, graduating before 18, when the last estimate was at 22. However, she told the entire family on her side a delayed end date for my schooling. I'm just tired of her. She gets over $300 in child support for me, even though she hasn't spent a dime on me in years. She lies. She puts me down in every way she can, and I honestly am tired of it and don't want to deal with it anymore. So I decided I'm not going to reach out for her birthday and know I'm going to get backlash for it. Am I the asshole? You did nothing wrong here. Your decision seems reasonable given your strained history and her past behavior. Why is she getting child support from you when you don't even live there? Taking a step back and focusing on what's best for you isn't wrong. It's about setting necessary boundaries for your mental health. Am I the jerk for consistently asking my friend for money? I understand how the title sounds like I'm begging for money for no reason. But there is a reason. My friend, who I'll call Bella for the sake of this post, and I have had a lot of ups and downs, more so downs. She is manipulative, a gaslighter, and always wants to be the center of attention. After school ended, I planned on ending my friendship with her so I didn't have to deal with her, as she was in the majority of my classes, and I didn't see doing that any earlier as a solution. Recently, I was foolish enough to let her borrow one of my books near the beginning of the school year. She promised to return it within a month or two. Now, 9 months later, school is over. No book has been returned. I don't have a lot of money, so I had to save up for even that cheap book. Not having it back upsets me because it is mine, and I like to have every book I've read on display. Since the school year was over, I messaged her about getting it back, even asking for it weeks before school ended. I got no reply or an I keep forgetting. I kept giving her the benefit of the doubt, which I shouldn't have. For the past month, every day, I've been messaging her for it back since school is over. She claims she gave it to Jamie, another friend of ours, claiming that Jamie was supposed to give it back. Now I'm telling Bella she owes me money since it was last in her possession, and we have zero contact with Jamie. I would have loved to drop her as a friend by now, but I would really like the money back. Messages I've gotten in response from her consist of I don't know, I have no clue what to do, and her ghosting me, even though I see her online and reading my message. The book is relatively cheap, $15. I even made it only $10 for her since it's not completely her fault. I've gotten plenty of friends saying I'm petty, and plenty saying it's completely reasonable. So, am I the asshole for asking Bella for compensation for the book she didn't return to me? Given that she's very unlikely to give the book or money back, it might be better to focus on your well-being rather than on the $15. It seems like dragging out a bad friendship for such a small amount isn't worth it. You can always buy the book again when you're in a better position. The main thing is to be rid of her from your life and move forward. Am I the jerk for confronting my ex for lack of a better word? So, I am a 17-year-old male. I have high-functioning autism, social anxiety, and ADHD, which goes to show my lack of understanding of social cues. Back in April, I started a long-distance relationship. The distance was not long, maybe a little more than 2 hours. It was my second ever relationship, and I connected heavily with the girl, so I was falling for her pretty fast. However, she dumped me literally a week before our 1-month mark, saying, I am not mentally there for a relationship. I love you, I do. I just need me time. We can still be friends, and we can even get back together when I feel ready, to which I was fine with. When I tried to keep talking with her, she dodged me and sometimes straight up ignored me. That hurt, as it was the second time I was told those exact words, and I was hoping this time it would be different. Then she started unadding me on social media platforms like Snapchat and Instagram. I began to get curious if she was honest with me about the breakup, so I looked at her Discord profile. She had changed her profile to me and my bae, obviously not me, and it was not there when it would have been me. And her bio mentioned a boyfriend, again, obviously not me, and it was not there when it would have been related to me. Last night I asked her if she was seeing someone else. It had been a couple of months by now, I just wanted the truth. She responded, does it really matter? To which I replied, yes, if I was lied to, I think I have the right to know why. If I did something wrong, I should be told why, so that I can work on myself and fix it. She admitted that she dumped me for someone who was physically there, referring to me as everything but nothing since you're not here. I asked why I was not told this to begin with, that I can take a breakup. It's the lying that I can't take, and she spouted a paragraph about not wanting to hurt me, as if the fact I would have figured out I was lied to wouldn't hurt me more. And this is what I told her. She said she couldn't wait until summer. I was planning to get a car and visit her this summer. After the whole conversation ended, one of her friends, who I felt never really liked me, threatened to have her boyfriend come to my house and beat me because you have no right to talk to her like that. Mind you, I was entirely respectful, wasn't pushy, and wasn't mad, just curious so that I could move on. But her friend kept insisting I worsened her mental health and that if she does something dumb, it's on you. Now again, I tend to be oblivious to things, so in my mind, all I was doing was asking why my trust was betrayed and why I was blatantly lied to. So, am I the asshole? You behaved properly. You have every right to ask for the truth and be upset that you were lied to. While it's understandable to feel hurt, it's essential to recognize that sometimes people say things to protect feelings during a breakup. The threatening friend who wants to send her boyfriend to beat you up for a non-violent confrontation is definitely out of line and a red flag. Violence is never an acceptable solution in these situations. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.